Hey guys, Fratello here, and today I want to go over what happened to Gordan Ryan. So first off, if you don't know who Gordan Ryan is, he's probably one of the greatest when it comes to BJJ. He's won multiple competitions. He's pretty much won just about every competition there is in the BJJ world. He's considered one of the greatest in the sport. And he's basically gone from this on the left to that on the right. Start with Joe Rogan, because he spoke to Joe Rogan like a while ago. This is 8 months ago, and he was talking about a problem he had with his stomach.
So I had recurring staph infections in 2018, and then I was taking oral antibiotics, and it just wiped out everything in my stomach, like all the good bacteria, everything. And then I had what ended up being a fungal overgrowth, a massive fungal overgrowth in my small intestine, and a huge bacterial imbalance in my stomach, and then H. pylori, which I had. But it was misdiagnosed as gastroparesis because I did a stomach emptying test where you eat like radioactive eggs and they scan your stomach every X amount of like every half hour to see how it moves through the stomach, and I was emptying slow. And so they misdiagnosed as gastroparesis. I still have people message me every single day who like are catching up on the podcast. They're like, "Man, I just saw Joe. Tell me what you did for your gastroparesis." I'm like, I don't fucking have gastroparesis. But they misdiagnosed it after like 4 years. I went to like all the best doctors in the country.
Okay, so he's got like an intestinal problem with his gut.
And they're just useless. Like they just, oh, we'll do an endoscopy. I had one guy do a colonoscopy, and they're like, yeah, you look fine. And I was like, okay, well, if I can't get these doctors to figure it out, I guess I'm just going to deal with it. Hopefully it'll get better. And then it just got worse as time went on because the fungal overgrowth just started getting worse and worse. And then it was like affecting my kidney function, and it was just like awful. And then I had to like partially, I took a leave of absence. I guess I like retired from grappling for a year because I couldn't even like function as a human being. Never mind, like I couldn't even like hold the conversation. I was so nauseous all the time.
Wow.
And then we were doing the podcast, and I was like traveling. I was like looking at houses in Austin because he convinced me to move to Austin. And I was here like eating restaurant food for like 3 days before, and we went to the podcast, and I was like, "Fuck, I can't even talk right now."
Because you used to have to eat very bland food.
Yeah, but even I would just wake up like 24/7 nauseous. Like the best way I can describe it is the worst hangover you ever had, like where you want to throw up to feel better but you can't. That's like my baseline, and then it gets worse from there.
Wow.
And then like imagine you go to training, and like now picture you have the worst hangover you've ever had, and you have to run a marathon 30 minutes later. Like the more tired you get, the worse it gets. So then I was like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. And then somehow, like the stars aligned, and actually his doctor in California, because he had some bad stomach problems, he's like, you got to go to Dr. Rebar in California. And I saw him, and he's like, yeah, I don't think you have gastroparesis. I think you just have something in your small intestines, which is backing up into your stomach and causing like a bile and food backup. And that's why you're emptying slowly, and it's mimicking gastroparesis. So he did a bunch of tests that no one's ever done, and like my levels are like way off. Like one of the things was like normal was between like 0 and 5, and then high was like over 5 or over 10, and my level was like 555. It was just like 50 times what it was supposed to be. So so I've been on this treatment now for a year in October. And I'm like 75% better now. I can actually like hold a conversation. I can eat food. I can like do shit. And now I'm competing again. But
So are there cases in like medical literature that talk about people taking high levels of antibiotics over? Because you took it over a 12-month period, right? You were constantly on antibiotics.
Well, yeah, because so basically you take the antibiotics, and it wipes out the good bacteria in your stomach, and then your immune system is trying to fix that. So then your immune system's low. It's not as strong as it usually is, and you're training. I'm training all the time, so I'm always just run down. And then you get staph again, and then you take more antibiotics, and then it wipes out your stomach even worse. So then your immune system's on overdrive trying to fix it, and then you get staph again. So it's like a cycle where you just keep getting staph and keep fucking up your immune system in your stomach. So there was probably like a year period from like 2018 to 2019 where I think I was on antibiotics more than I wasn't. for staph. I would like get
Wow.
staph and be like on 10 days, 2 weeks of medicine, and then 3 days later I'd have staph again, and I go back on antibiotics. Like, it was just miserable.
And for anybody who's never taken antibiotics and tried to work out, it just drains you.
It just kills you. You have no cardio. You have nothing. So then I started using Hibiclens in the shower when I would train. It's like the soap that they use to wash their hands before surgery. It's like a super strong soap, and that helped a lot. And then I met his doctor, Dr. Rabar, and now that I'm getting better, I hardly ever get staph.
Have you ever said, I'm going to take like a month and just do some serious hardcore fasting and see if that helps?
So I did do the fasting. It wasn't my choice. I just literally couldn't eat. But I did try to do probably about 3 weeks of fasting, and it didn't help. I think that I needed the medicine. The first success I had was when you introduced me to Brigham with the Ways to Well. So they gave me, a bunch of stuff which increased my appetite a lot and was helping. I was able to, because my main thing is keeping weight on and gaining size. I'm big, but I'm a small heavyweight. So depending on my stomach, I'd be 205, one day, and then I have a good month, and then I'm 225, 230, then I'm back to 210, and my weight would fluctuate based on how much I could eat. So they put me on this regimen, and they gave me a bunch of stuff that increased my appetite, so I got super big, but I was still getting nauseous, so it didn't fix the problem. I could eat more, but then I would just be nauseous after. So then I was using a combination of the Ways to Well stuff with his doctor, and now their stuff makes me more hungry, and I can actually eat food now, so everything's getting a little bit better. And I feel like I used to just eat 2 eggs, and I would just feel it sitting in my stomach. It just wouldn't filter down. So I would just be carrying food all day long. And then I'm trying to force feed myself to keep the weight on, and they actually did a test, and they're like, yeah, you're not only can you not eat, but your body's only absorbing 60% of the food that you actually do eat.
That's
so I
fucked.
was eating 10 times less than I was supposed to, and then just not absorbing half of it. So it was just a total disaster.
So he's only absorbing half the food
medication
he's eating.
Well, I have I have to do a retest this week. I have to take a pee test and some blood work, and then I'm going to do a meeting with him on September 20th, right after ADCC. And then he's going to tell me where to go from there. We have to see what my levels are. But I'm sure he's going to keep me on a lot of the stuff. It's just overall stuff to help promote digestion and overall stomach function. But I'm just listening to what he says because everything he said so far has been accurate.
So you can see here he's been going to the hospital for treatments and stuff for his stomach problem. So he's been pretty open with his problem, and he's been posting lots of stuff regarding
heavy antibiotic therapy. You can just imagine how much that would fucking suck for a guy who literally got into this spot from antibiotics, spent years trying to fix it, and then had an issue where he was forced to take antibiotics again. So he mentions here, I'm not sure when I'll be competing again. When I got back from my Abu Dhabi trip, I came down with severe case of strep throat, which ended with me in the hospital because my throat swelled shut. Doctors also couldn't figure out how to cure it, since no one ever fails penicillin for a strep infection. In all, I did 7 days of amoxicillin, and within a day my throat was back to square one. Then I did 10 days of penicillin, and within 2 days off I was in the hospital with my throat swollen shut. In the hospital, they gave me a shot of penicillin and another 10 days of penicillin, which I failed. Then I switched to 14 days of clindamycin, which worked. So all in all, I was on over 40 days of antibiotics straight, plus a shot of penicillin. During this time, it was contagious, and everyone were in big camps, so I couldn't even go to training in fear I would infect them as well. In addition, my ears were in so much pain from my throat that I couldn't elevate my heart rate at all without having them want to explode and getting a pounding headache. So I've been completely inactive for a longer time than I ever have since I started training. As expected, my stomach has relapsed pretty bad, and my nausea and lack of appetite have reappeared. So I'll need to deal with that. But first, I'm headed into surgery today for a tonsillectomy to fix my severely deviated septum. Just wanted to update everyone, blah, blah, blah. Nicky Rod, suffer in silence. Inquisitive face, you are soft, pointing at you. Taking the opportunity here to just jump on him. Next post, he goes into it further. Mission accomplished. See you guys as soon as I'm healthy. And he is here. Eating and drinking hasn't been too easy. He is working with a clinic to restore himself as quick as possible. But he ends up posting this, which is kind of wild because it's very transparent and like kudos for showing yourself at your worst. He says, everyone posts their best. Be confident enough to post your worst. This post is simply to update everyone on my current athletic status. I'm not asking for sympathy or help, and in fact would prefer if you lose faith in me so I can prove you wrong like I always do. The last time I was this size, 201 pounds, 20 plus pounds this week, I was 21 years old. When I got the strep in early March, my ears became so inflamed that every time I elevated my heart rate, felt like my head was gonna explode. Spoke with my doctors, I got the silicone stents taken out of my nose, and I'm told I can't start lifting for another 3 weeks and training for roughly 2 months. That will be 3 months of zero activity and 5 months of no training. Coupled with the fact that over 40 days of antibiotics wasn't great for my stomach, it's safe to say that I have a long road back to competition. My focus now as an athlete is on getting healthy and helping my teammates/students prepare for matches. No matter how ill I've been, there's nothing worse than not being there to help them prepare. My goal in the sport is simple: double gold in ADCC until I'm 40 and have more medals than Buchecha has world titles. That being
So he's posted this photo, and everyone's pretty much claiming it's steroids and stuff because they're comparing the before and after photos, going, "Oh my God, he's off the steroids. This is what happened to him." Blah 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 blah.
So the completely deteriorated physique triggers the steroid comments, as you'd expect. Ha ha ha, take notes, kids. This is what happens when you try to fake your way to the top and pump your body full of steroids. Stop taking/cycling roids then. Your body is screaming for help, bruh. Suffer in silence, crying laughing face. My friend, you have to stop taking steroids. They are destroying you. Just as simple as that. Would just see a crazy before and after like this and be like, Gordan Ryan off the Sazul transformation. It's like, yo, it's a clear on versus off cycle scenario, and this is why. But it's like the likelihood this guy has come off of everything, or it's even worked its way to his system entirely. If anything, it would be beneficial to try and stave off catabolism in such a deprived state, being like maintaining the course, not necessarily like blasting your face off, but staying on your therapeutic replacement at minimum, I would think would be a worthwhile maintenance routine. Like, the guy has no ability to train, no ability to exert himself significantly. Like, to think that going from on cycle to, you know what, I just got like completely decimated by antibiotics, can't eat, can't train, now's the time to come off. Like, crashing your hormones in that state of health would be the one of the worst things you could do potentially. I do have close friends and know lots of people at this point, friends of friends, people who follow my channel that I've had to reach out to me, patients at Merrick Health, like people that have dealt with debilitating issues that you and I may otherwise take for granted. And when I see comments that are like, oh, it's just a stomach ache, bro, just get over it, for, you know, Gordan's situation, like, it's definitely not something you can just chalk up to, you know, lack of willpower or just suck it up, princess. Autoimmune issues and gut dysbiosis and significant gut microbiome dysregulation, like, this stuff is so impactful on systemic health at such a high level that it's hard to really put into words how much it can fuck up your life if you have not experienced it.
That's where everyone's saying suffer in silence, because he's got that on his fucking Instagram.
It's like you have a major issue that you then need to take antibiotics for, but you know the antibiotics are what fucked you up for your gut issues in the first place. So you do it, and then you set yourself back even further from the, you know, original issue you had. You know, I can't even wrap my head around how frustrating this would be for him. So I understand the people jumping on the bandwagon to step on him while he's down, because he does a lot of shit talking, so it's totally understandable. But, and I'm sure he gets it too, why it's these people feel it justified. But as far as like the whole he's on versus off gear, this is physique on versus off, like, you know how many people in BJJ are sauced to the fucking tits and do not have these issues? So many. There's a reason why it's unique to him, and you don't hear about other BJJ guys having debilitating stomach problems all the time, despite the fact that they're on just as much shit, if not more, some of them. There's a lot of gear in BJJ, and he is the poster boy for BJJ in many ways, I guess. So he gets the most scrutiny, but also the most praise simultaneously, and he does a lot of shit talking, but he's not the only guy who takes gear. And a lot of these guys on gear are not just randomly getting sidelined by debilitating gut issues. And there's a reason. It's because it's not the fucking gear. Maybe it could dysregulate your immune system somewhat. There is literature that does support that, but it's not going to be something that makes or breaks or gets him in versus out of this situation. And this situation he's in right now has like little to nothing to do with gear. For people to be like, he came off, this is why, or this is why his physique is, deteriorated so significantly. You could have a guy who's still on gear and make him look like shit pretty easily just by depriving him of food, making him not work out, having him be dehydrated, getting shitty sleep. Like, you are still going to suffer. You might not lose the tissue permanently nearly as quickly. You could offset catabolism quite significantly, but it's not something that is just going to keep you looking like Hercules when you're not putting in the time in the gym and eating and training and drinking water and getting electrolytes in and your minerals and your vitamins. Like, it is still like the same principles that get you the physique even on gear. It's just it's easier and gives you a higher ceiling of potential. But to go to this, like, this is clearly illness related. It's not him like, I decided to cycle off so I lost like 50 fucking pounds. No. I would hope this guy did not like completely crash his hormone system simultaneously of coming off, because that would be, two significant things you have to then deal with simultaneously. That would suck. But like, I imagine he is still on gear. So for people to be like, he's off gear now, like, I'm pretty fucking sure he's not. I imagine he's not blasting his face off, but I highly doubt he has come off entirely. And, you'd be hard pressed to find another guy in BJJ who's dealing with an exact same situation. Like, oh, the gear abuse got you here. No, he's not unique in that he's taking 10 times the amount of every other athlete. Like, people who are gunning for him are probably going to be cranking even fucking harder than he is, realistically, because they have the incentive and the motive to push past what they deem to be, okay, well, this much gear got me to here. So obviously, if I want to take it to the next level, I probably got to push my shit a bit harder. This is where you find guys getting into situations with cardiovascular disease, kidney deterioration, even hepatotoxicity when, considering certain oral agents and whatnot, or even androgen abuse at a high level. That's where you get into that territory. And in bodybuilding, like, you often see the guys with the health issues from insane steroid abuse, or the guys that were on the way up trying to take out the guys with better genetics who were more like, responsive to the shit they were taking and could get away with less. That's not to say that Gordan is on nothing or that he's on low dosages or anything, but at the end of the day, he's absolutely not the only guy abusing shit in the sport, and I do not think this is a result of like on versus off steroids or whatever. It would be insane if he actually was like off TRT entirely in order to somehow like accommodate his recovery for this shit.
So basically, he's got from this to this mostly due to his illness, his stomach issue. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed this, like, comment and subscribe, and check out some of my other videos. Catch you next time.